Mr. Nazmul Islamriyad, I like to talk with you. You have, how many classes have you taken with me?
Sir, I'm not exact. I'm not counted.
Okay, so
Maybe three or four.
3 or 4 classes, and one classes I have conducted with reading part, and rest of the class I conducted. One was for writing, and rest of the class I conducted for reading part. And do you have still any problem in reading parts?
I have some problems. I'm not maintaining the time, and second one, matching heading.
Yes.
And matching heading is one of the greatest problem for me. I'm not. I'm just confused.
You, you,
Which
you, are,
which one
you,
is
are,
the correct?
you were confused. So today's we will have discuss about the matching headings for other part. You have to share your problems with me, which types of question you are facing struggle, you are facing difficulty. And very important thing for here is the time maintaining, because in an hour or in 60 minutes, we have to read 3 passages and have to answer 40 questions. So it is very challenging for us. We have to share our problem when you practicing ourselves at our homes, and I can help you regarding your difficulty, regarding your struggling you are doing. That will help you to get expected score,
Okay,
because
sir.
IELTS reading it depend on your practice. Um, uh, Once you know the technique to answer 7 type of question there are in the IELTS reading part, then you can go forward, you can come forward to develop your reading skill. Another thing I have earlier talked for readings, if we are not familiar with some new word vocabulary, we cannot do better in the reading part, because the vocabulary they use in the reading part are not easier and than writing or speaking. In speaking, we can speak whatever you know, what the vocabulary you know, you can speak and we can have good score. Writing as well. Writing part, if you understand the question, you can write your with the grammatical correction or the word you know with sentence. But for the readings, there are 3 passages. One and first and second passage is bit easier than the third passage, because they use some similar words. So very important thing for us to make a habit for reading English newspaper, English magazine, or English some article will be more helpful. Some country like our Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, those who are not habituated to read English article, they cannot do better. 2 things. One is the knowing a strategy to save our time, to have a good score for the reading. Another is to be familiar with the uncommon word. So I think we can start the classes now. We have enough participants. And today's classes, I like to talk about reading again. In the last classes, we have discussed more thing about reading. What for the part we are going to discuss in the today's classes? We were remaining to answer. I think you can see in the screen. The question, this is the passage number 2. Passage number 1, we already solved. In the today's classes, we are going to solve passage 2 and 3. I have mentioned passage 2 is a bit harder than passage 1, and passage 3 is more harder. So we have to target to achieve our score. 1 and 2 passages have to be answered all sorts of questions. In from passage 3, we can answer half of them. then you can get 7 score. Now, type of question is that this is the type of question is list of heading. As you can see, we are very familiar in this type of question. List of heading mean there are some heading you have in your question booklets. What do you have to do? You have to match with the heading with the passage. Here, some paragraph A, B, C, D. Which paragraph is matching with heading? Which heading? We have to match this one. This is called list of the heading. And then we have to go other type of question. This is about the fill in the blanks. And this is about the multiple choice. And the other type of question here, third basis. In the third basis, what kinds of question we have to solve? First of all, we have to look. The question is a multiple choice question. And this is about the true false not given. Now, passage number 2, we are going to answer from passage number 2. In the passage number 2, there are 2 type of question, list of heading and fill in the blanks, multiple choice. Now we have to plan which type of question we start first. Should we start first from the list of heading, or should we start from the fill in the blanks? Please,
So
can you share?
filling the blanks.
Filling the blanks.
Filling the blanks. So why we should not start from list of heading first?
Because when we are searching the word for filling the blanks, we have an idea about the passage. After
Thank
that,
you.
we can easily find out the list of the heading.
Find out. Firstly, secondly, to answer this question, this question, we have to read whole through the passages, but it will be waste our time. That's why, first of all, we can gather some idea about the passages in terms of answering other question. The other question is here, list of fill in the blanks. I have earlier mentioned if you try yourself at your home, you can share your problems. Now we like to try ourselves to answer the questions, fill in the blanks. First of all, we have to look to the instruction. Question instruction is that choice one word only. Then we have to read the main heading, main line of the fill in the blanks. Main line is the Gerard Diamond's views. A person named Gerard Diamond's views. This is the main line. Now what do we have to do? We have to read the question. Diamond believed that the Polynesian chatteler on Rapa Nui destroy its forest, cutting down its tree for fuel and cleaning land for some things. Now we gather some idea. First of all, we have to find Gerard Diamond views. Then we go to the paragraph from the beginning. Here the paragraph, just skin and scream, where you find the diamond belief. Can you please scan from their diamond belief? From the line where you find diamond belief. From the beginning, just read, and the line you find diamond belief, you have to stop in the line, then read through the line. From the beginning, just look through the passage. Don't need to understand the meanings. In there's no diamond belief. Then we can go to the B paragraph. Read some here about diamonds.
The passage number 3C.
B. No. Passage B, you can have a diamond belief. If you look through very carefully the passage B, you can find diamond belief. So we have to find diamond.
Yeah,
diamond
yeah,
Input
yes,
line.
got it, sir. Got it, sir.
Which line?
Okay. Now, what do you have to do? What we have to read, hold the line where you find the diamond belief. I like to request anyone. Could you please read the line diamond belief?
Only after the Polynesian arrived did those forests disappear. US scientists Jared Diamond believes that the Rupani people,
Rupa people,
Rupani people
descent of
descent
Polynesian,
of Polynesian
Polynesian
settlers,
settler wrecked
settlers
their
own
own
environment.
environment. They had
Unfortunately settled on the extremely
Fragile
island, dry,
Yes.
cool, and too remote to the property of fertilized by wind-blown
windblown volcanic
ash.
Now we can go to the question, then you can understand which answer could be. If you read the question again, Diamond believed that Polynesian settler on Rupa Noi destroy the forest, cutting down tree for fuel and cleaning land for. So which will be the answer we have to find? Which will be the answer? Now, why
So
they
the next line says,
cutting
sir,
down tree oil cleanings? Again, you can go to the, okay, they cutting down tree, family settler to draw to remote or properly and fertilizer with volcanic acid. When the islander clean the forest for wood, firewood and farming, the forest did not grow back. As tree become scarce and tree become scarce and they could no longer construct wooden crowns for fishing. So have you find any information? Have you find any matching between the question and the passage? What
yes,
word will be answer? Now you have to
sir.
guess which word we can put in the question number 21st.
So in the
Rupanoi
question they said that
they destroy. Okay. Samira, please. Samira, tell me what. Samira, which word will be the answer? Between the passages, which word have you find the answer? Samira. Farming. Samira, good, farming. Now we got the answer, farming. Look at the question. Rupanoi destroy the forest, cutting down tree for fuel and cleaning the land for farming. Make you clear again. And they had unfortunately settled on a stormy, fragile island, dry, cold, and too remote to be properly fertilized by wind-blown volcanic ash. When the islander cleaned the forest for firewood and farming, the forest did not go back. So why they clean? They clean for the firewood and farming. Answer we got farming. We have to note down the answer farming. Now next we have to answer next question. And to find the next question, you have to read the question very carefully. 20th century discovery of fallen probe that Rupa Noi had one been covered in plum forest, which had turned into grassland by the time of European arrival on the island. When the islanders were no longer able to build now we have to find what they are building. Same paragraph. You have to chart the same paragraph what they are building. Please, anyone read the paragraph and find the answer. Paragraph number B, you can have answer, please. Rest of the line, if you read the rest of the line, you can find answer, please. as tree become, if you read, as tree become scarce and they could no longer construct wooden crown for fishing. They add bark, soil, erosion, destroy their crop yield before Europeans arrive. Now you got the answer. If you read the again question, you can have answer. Here, when the
Yes.
islander were no longer, okay, Samira Khan mentioned that crown. Thank you, Samira. You got the answer. Read again. When the islander were no longer able to build the uh, corners, no longer able to build the corners, they needed to go for the fishing. You get the answer. Now read the next question. They began using island as food chores. Now we have to choose what they are using food chores. Go to same line. What they are using. Farming, forest grow back, tree becomes corn, and corn fishing. They ate bark and they could not no longer construct wooden corners for fishing. They add bark, soil erosions, decrease their crop yields. So what they eat? We have to find the answer. Samira, what answer you got? They began using island chores of food. What thing they use for the chores of food? Islands, fish or bird? Which one? Island, fish or bird? What they use? They use the fish or bird. The line they say tree become scarred and they could no longer construct wooden crowns. Bird. Thank you, Samira. Have understand. If you read the carefully like Samira, you can understand all question very rapid possible time. Here the mention corn, soil erosion, fishing, they add bark. In the island, they add bark. Next question, you can understand. Next question. Diamond also claimed that. The Moi were built to show the power of island ship trains, and that the method of transporting the statue needed not only a great numbers of people but also great deals of what the answer next answer great deals of what deal they are doing. You can go to the passage again. Okay, deals of what deal they are talking about in here's. European arrived, the Rupanoi had descent into civil war and cannibalisms. He maintained clubs of their island civilization, diamond riots, a worst case scenario for the may lie ahead us of our own. So what thing they are building? What thing they are buildings? Can you please find the answer from here? Diamond entrapped there the power by two top dams, island lake the way, as seeing the maintain the complete building over large. Okay. Can you please find the answer from this breakdown? What thing they are building? Numbers of people, but also great deal of. Again, we can read the questions. You can read the question again. Last question. Diamond also claimed that the Moi were built to show the power of island ship trains, and that the method of transporting the statue state needed not only a great numbers of people, but also a great deal of. This thing we have to find in this paragraph. Great deal of bills. Yelled European arrived, the Rapa Nui had descended to civil war.
So we think we have to go in next passage.
Next passage,
Samoi.
okay. Okay, read the next passage. They completed by building. No, this is not answer. Pregapsi. Okay, Pregapsi. Find out the answer. Pregapsi. They completed by building over bigger figure. Diamonding, they laid the moi on Udaran. They laid the moi on Udaran sledge, hauled over log, rail, but that require both of a lots of wood and lots of people.
Right, sir.
Now we have answer.
Yes, sir.
Now you have answer. Which answer you got? Require lots of wood, and lots of people. The question talk, the numbers of people also great deals of wood. Thank you, Samira could understand. Wood. Answer should be wood. We got the answer. But very easier things you find, once you find in this kinds of question is one easy technique. Once you find the main thing of the question, then you can find in same paragraph or same location all answer. Now we have to solve the rest of the question. This is called multiple choice. What do you mean by multiple choice, and what technique we will follow the multiple choice? Multiple choice means you have to choose two correct answer, one correct answer from multiple option. Here they instruct choice two answers. That means you have to choose two correct answer from A, B, C, D, E. For answering this kinds of question, read the question very carefully. What is the question main theme? This is very important for you. Then find out the location. The question main theme is that what point do Hunt and Lipu disagree with diamonds? Now we have to go to the paragraph where Hunt and Lipu disagree with diamonds. We can read here C paragraph and D paragraphs. Then you can
Paragraph
find
E and
paragraph A. Okay, you have to find that the Hans and Lipu disagree.
E, F,
Paragraph
G.
Okay.
All passages are included hand on before.
Okay, we have to find some things that D paragraph, Hunt of the University Hawaii and Carl Lipu of California State University agree that Australian lost its last forest and it was an ecological catastrophe, but they believe the islanders themselves were not to blame. And the Moi certainly were not. Archaeological excavations indicate that the Rupa Noi went to a heroic effort to protect the riches of their wineless, infertile field. They built thousands of circle stone windbreaks, granite islands inside them, and used volcanic rock to keep the soil moist. In short, there is the answer you can have. In short, Hunt and Lipo are the prehistoric Rupanoi were pioneer of sustainable farming. This is one clue. The E number. Another information you get number E. Hunt and Lipu contain that Moi building was an activity that helped keep the peace between islanders. They also believe that moving to the Moi required few people and no wood because they were walked upright. On that issue, Hunt and Rupa say archaeological evidence back up Rupa Noi folklore. Recent experiment indicate that as few as 18 people could, with 3 strong group, a bite of practice usually Menolops 1,000 kilogram Moi replica a few hundreds meters. The figure fits and paragraph E F we have some information paragraph F. The moreover Hunt and Rupa were convinced that Chattelar were not only responsible for the loss of islander tree. Archaeological find not from extent Star Island from show teeny groups made by the teen Polynesians. So another information in G, Han and Lipo's vision therefore is not an island population be peaceful, ignore Moi builders. So whatever you understand now, you can go to the questions to choice two options. Which two options is correct? Option A, prior to when the Moi were created. Option B, how the Moi were transported. Option C, impact of the Moi on Rupa Noi society. D, how the Moi were crafted. E, organs of people who made the Moi. Organs or origins of people who made the Noi. Now we have to match. Which is matching? Two answers should be matching. What do you think? A, B, C, D. Whatever we understand between the two person, Lipu and Hunt, which one is correct? A, B, C, D. What do you think, please? Samia Khan, could you please understand, Samia? Which answer you like to, Samia Khan, you like to, you are understanding that card, A, B, C, D. Which one? B and C. What do you think? B, question number B. How the Moi were transport? We understand we have done they are urging the Moi transportation. And number C, the impact of Moi on Rupa Noi society. 2 is matching. B and C. If you read carefully, paragraph number, read carefully paragraph D, E, F, you can understand some option that B and C. A is not matching, D is not matching, E is not. B number, Moi were transported. C number, impact of Moi on Rupa Noi society. I think you understand well. Now we have to go the matching information. This is called matching information.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, when we find the same name in more than one paras, on that
yes,
time, which one we consider? Which can I consider to identify
you have to focus the question. Question main thing is that not only the name, but also here one things. What point do Hunt and Lipu disagree with? They are disagree with diamonds. Two things. 2% disagree with diamonds. Then you can find which paragraph you are understanding that diamond is not agree with the 2%. This is the main point. To paragraph D, E, F, in 3 paragraph, you must understand which point is not agreed by diamond. Then you can find 2 points. I found that the B and C, the Moi, we found the Moi information is transported is not agree with the diamonds. And C, in fact, of the Moi or Rupa Noi is not matching the statement with diamonds. That's why B and C correct answer. I think you understand.
Yes, sir.
Now, what you have to do now, we have to answer list of heading. List of heading is quite a difficult question for us. So if you follow some strategy, it will not be complicated for you. Strategy is that, first of all, read the heading first and mention the all heading some main things. Then go to the paragraph A, B, C, D once you can understand, once you can read 2 line, 3 line of paragraph, last line of the paragraph, you can understand which one is matching. We can read the heading first, and you have to remember, number 1 is the evidence of innovative environment management practices. You have to focus what is the main thing of here, evidence. This is the main thing, evidence of innovative environment management practices, main things. And you must remember this. Number 2, an undisputed answer to a question about Moi. Undisputed answer to a question about the Moi. Number 3, the future of Moi estates. Number 4, a theory which support a local belief. 5, future of Easter Island. 6, 2 opposing view about the Rupa noise people. Number 7, destruction outside of the inhabitant control. Number 8, how the state made the situation worse. Number 9, diminishing food chores. If you understand all heading, now you can understand which paragraph contain which information. Read again the paragraph. Paragraph A should be something missing. If you don't have, remember, read 2 line of the paragraphs. I like to recommend anyone to read the 2 line of the paragraph A, then match with the headings. Who will read the paragraph A? Just 2 lines. Two line of the paragraphs. Could anyone read the paragraph 2 line for paragraph A? I like to recommend to read is it Naimul Islam? Please, Naimul Islam,
Yes,
could you
sir.
read the 2 line from the paragraph A?
Yes, sir.
Please.
Easter Island of Rupa Nui, as it known locally, it is home to several hundred ancient human status, the Moi. After
Moi.
this remote Pacific Moi, after this remote Pacific island was settled by the Polynesian. It remained isolated for countries. All the energy and resources, that went into the Moi, some of which are 10 meters tall and weight over 7,000 kilos, came from the island itself.
Okay, you have understand something. Now you can read the last 2 line, or last line. Local folklore maintain that the state
maintain that the states worked, while the researchers have tended to assume the ancestors
regard and stage somehow
using the rope and logs.
So, and reading 2 and 3 lines, you can understand some things matching. Now we can read the question again. Then you can understand which one is matching with the heading, with the paragraph. 1, 2, 3. Which one is matching? 1, evidence of innovative not meeting. 2, an undisputed answer to a question about Rupa Noi. Is it matching? And if I ask you some question, you can answer the undisputed answer. The thing you read, all things are undisputed. If I read again, Easter Island on Rupa Noi is known locally the home of several hundreds of the insane humans. What do you understand? We understand about Rupa Noi's settlers. Moi, after the thing we understand about the Moi settler. Moi, after this remote Pacific island was settled, Polynesian, it remained isolated from century. All the energy and rituals that went to the Moi, some of which are 10 meter tall, weight over 7 meter. This is something we understand about the Rupa Noi. Last line, if you read the last line, local folklore maintained that was the state worker will recharger have tended. Assume the ancestor direct the stage somehow using rope and locks. So matching question number 2 is matching. I think if you understand well, you can understand that how is matching. Question is number 2 is matching, that undisputed answer to a question about the Moi. I think you understand. 2 and 3 line is enough. If you understand the heading very well, 2 and 3 line is enough to match with the questions. Now, paragraph B. Read the 2 line and 3 lines. You can understand paragraph B, which one is matching. Samira, please, could you read the paragraph B and 2 line of the paragraphs?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, I am hearing you.
When the Europeans arrived, Rapanui was grassland with only a few scrawny trees. In the 1970s and 1980s, though, researchers found pollen preserved in lake sediments, which proved the island had been covered in lush palm forest for thousands of years.
Okay, keep reading 2 line and last 1 line. You can understand. Second line.
Only after the Polynesian arrived did those forests disappear. US scientist Jared Diamond believes that the Rapanui people, descendants of Polynesian settlers, wrecked their own environment.
Now go to read the last line of the paragraph.
Soil erosion
Soil erosion decreased their crop
yields
yield.
before Europeans arrived.
Rupa Noi
had descended
into civil war
and cannibalism.
He
He maintains the collapse of their isolated civilization. Diamond writes is a worst case scenario for what may lie ahead of us in our own future.
Now you have to go to the question to match which one is matching. Whatever you understand to read this paragraph, 1, 2, 3, please read which one is matching. Please read carefully and try to understand the matching, which is matching. 2 I have already matched. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which one is matching from this heading? One is not matching. Future, number 3 is not matching. Number 4, theory of is not matching. Future of island is not matching. That's number 2, opposition, there's no view. So this is not matching. Next one, destruction of outside inhabitant. There's no destruction as outside inhabitants of control.
Diminishing diminishing food resources.
Diminishing food resource. Or you can find something that they are diminishing food resources. If you read again, you can understand here. They are diminishing food. Where last lines. When the settler, when the islander cleared the forest, firewood forest did not grow back. A tree becomes scarce, who could not no longer construct wooden corns, fishing. They eat birds. Soil erosion. They eat birds. That means they are diminishing the soil erosion, decrease the crop. That means they are diminishing the crop, food source crop and yield. Before European arrived, the Rupa Noi had descended. So last lines you instruct you the matching with question number 9. This is the matching is the
Yes,
question
sir.
number 9. So here, diminishing the food source. This is the techniques. Now you can try yourself, or we can have solve other types of question, this kinds of, and paragraph B. One thing is, remember, if paragraph is a smaller, you can read whole paragraph. If paragraph is larger, you have to follow to read 2 lines and 3 lines and last 1 lines. This is enough. Now the paragraph number C is a small, you can read whole the paragraphs. The more he thinks accelerated the destruction, Diamond interpret them as a power display by rebel ship trained who trapped on a remote little island lake other way of asserting their diamonds. They competed by building over bigger figure. Diamond think they need point wooden shelter, hold over legs, rail, but they require both lots of wood and lots of people. And to feed the people, even more island had to be cleared. When the wood was gone and civil war began, Islander began to toppling the Moy by the 19th century. So this thing is shorter. We can have the question, very easy thing to find which is matching with the questions. One already have, 1, 2 already have gone. 3 is that the not, 3 is not matching. 4 future is not matching. 5 number 5 is not matching. Number 6, 7, I think 8 is matching. Number 8 is the how the status statue stars make stage makes a situation worse. I think it is matching. If to confirm it, we can read again. Number 3 paragraph. More his things accelerated the self-destruction. Diamond interrupt then a power display by rebel ship trains who trapped into remote little island lacked other way of assaulting the demonist. They competed by building ever bigger figure. Diamond think they laid the Moy on wooden sledge, hauled over log, rail, but require both lots of wood and lots of people. To feed the people, even more land had to be claimed. When the wood was gone, a civil war was began. The islander began toppling the Moy. By the 19th century, none were standing. The moral thing, if you read the question is moral thing. Last one, question number 8. How the state made a situation worse. The main conclusion is how the state made a situation worse. This is matching. Same way we have to go to the read question D paragraph. D is a shorter one. You can read whole the paragraph. Please, anyone can read the paragraph number D. Please, anyone can read the paragraph number D. I'd like to request to read paragraph number D, Mr. Abdul Rahman. Abdul Rahman, could you please read the paragraph number D?
Okay, sir. Archaeologist Terry Hunt of the University of Hawaii and Carl Lipo of California State University agree that Easter Island lost its last forest and that it was an ecological
catastrophe.
Ecological
catastrophe.
But they believe island themselves
weren't to blame. Okay. The Moy certainly were not. Archaeological
and the
Keep
most
reading.
certainly warrant archaeological excavation. Excavation indicate that the Rupanoi went to heroic efforts to protect the resource of their windless.
Okay. Infertile field, they built thousands of circular stone windbreak and grind it inside them and use broken volcanic rock to keep the soil moist. In short, Hunt and Lipu agree the prehistoric Rupanoi were pioneer of the sustainable farm. If you understand things, main thing you can read, you can match with the heading, which is matching with the heading. Now, whatever is remaining here, you can have matching. Which one is matching? Number D. Number one, I think number one is matching. Evidence of, this is about the evidence of innovative environment management practices. The moral thing of the B paragraph, whatever you understand, this is about the evidence. There is the all thing are evidence of innovative. You understand that innovative environment management practices. Archaeological, they hunt and the university called Rupanoi, Californian, that they believe the Icelander were themselves were not to blame. Moi certainly were not. Archaeological excavations indicate that Rupanoi were to historic effect to protest and rituals of their wine lays. Infertile field, they built thousands of circular stone, wine break, guard, gardened inside them, use broken volcanic rock to keep the soil moist. In short, Hans and Lipu agree the prehistoric Rupanoi were pioneer of the sustainable farming. The main thing is question you understand. The number one is the main thing of D, that evidence of innovative environment management practices. This is matching, I think. Now, same way you can find other answer. Number D is a short one. E number is a short one. Anyone like to read? I like to request to read Atana. Atana will read. Atana will read the E number paragraph.
Letter E, you mean?
Paragraph E, Hunt and Lipu, yes.
Hunt and Lipo content that Moai building was an activity that helped keep the peace between islanders.
Islander, okay.
Yeah.
They also believe
that moving the Moai required few people and no wood because they were walk upright.
Okay, on that issue,
Hunt and Lipo say
archaeological
backs
back up
Rupanoi
folklore. Recent experiment indicate that was a few 18 people could with 3 strong rope of bite of practice easily maneuvers in 1,000 kilogram moi replica, a few hundreds meter. The figure fed bellies tighter them tighter forward and D-shaper base allow hundreds to rock them in side to side. So you, whatever you understand now, you can match with the heading here, which is matching in the rest of the questions. What do you have understand rest of the things? I think question number 4, They are for a theory which support a local people. In the paragraph, you understand, you read a theory about a theory which local people support, the local people believe. I think it is matching with the question number. This is question number E, 18 question. Now, same way, you can have readings, paragraph E, F number paragraph. Moreover, Hunt and Lipo are convinced that settlers were not wholly responsible for loss of island tree. Archaeological find of not from extent Easter Island farms. So Trini Grove made by the 10 teeth of Polynesians red. Red arrived along with the settler, and in just a few years, Hunt and Lipu calculate they would have overrun by island. They would have prevented the reshading slow growing palm tree, thereby dumped Rupa Noi forest. This is enough. Now we have to read the last line because it's larger one. Last line is that then the 19th century soul trader decimated the population, which prevailed in 111 people by 1877. Now we have to go the questions, remaining questions. Which are the remaining question? We have remaining one. Question remaining is that question number 8. 8 is remaining. How the states meets? No, this is not remaining. Number 7 is remaining. Destruction outside of the inhabitant control. I think it is matching because they are talking about the destruction. We read some about the destruction. They are talking about there are something destruction. Teats Polynesian arrived along with the settler. Just a few years, Hunt and Lipu calculated. Last line, the thing the population grow rapidly and then remain more and less stable until the arrival of European, who introduced deadly descent to islander into the humanity. Then it's a 19th century soul trader that decimated the population with rebelled 111 people by 18. The question is 8. Destruction outside of the inhabitant control. This is matching, I think. Now last one is the shorter one. You can have answer. It's very shorter. Hunt and Rupi Bishan's therefore is one of an island population populated by peaceful and ingenious Moi builder and careful steward of island rather than by reckless destroy running their own environment and society rather than a case of object failure. Rupa Noi is an unlucky story of success. They claim whichever is the case, there are surely some valuable lesson, which is the world at least can learn from the story of Rupa Noi. Now the rest one we have to go to the question which is matching. What the question is remaining. We have remaining the question number this one, two opposing view. This is the remaining two opposing view about the Rupa Noi. Though this kinds of question is very complicated, but when you understand the meaning of the passage, I think you can find very easily. So the recommendation for you, if you are very weak in reading, if you are very weak in vocabulary, try to learn vocabulary, then it will be more easier than now. Now I think you understand well this type of question. Have you understand well the finding list of the heading, or you are still confused? Please share your view. Anyone? Have you understand all how to answer this kinds of question? Abdul Rahman, have you understand how to answer this kinds of question?
Yes, sir.
Sweetie, what do you understand? Sweetie, did you understand how to answer this kinds of question?
Yes, sir, I understand.
জি আচ্ছা আমি একটু পরে আপনার সাথে কথা বলতেছি Sweetie, what is your comment? Did you understand? Sweetie,
Yes.
are you listening? Okay, Sweetie is not. Now we can go to the next type of question. Is that next passage? Next passage is this one. This is the last one passage. Earlier I mentioned that in IELTS reading, 3 passages. The last one is more harder. You have to remember, first and second one is easier. So in the first and second passage, there are 13 plus 13, 26 questions. You need to try to answer all sorts of questions if you are targeting to have 7 score, because in third passage is harder. You cannot answer all types of questions. You can answer 50%, then you will have correct 30 questions to get 7 score. So remember that passage 1 and 2 is easier than passage 3. So passage 3 is more harder. You have to spend more time for the passage 3. Look at the passage 3. Passage 3 we have to look. So this is about the passage 3. Is about neurostics. That means neurological science, about the science, neurological. So what do you have to do? First of all, we need to read the question first, and we have to understand what type of question it is. Can you please tell me can anyone tell me what kinds of question it is? Then we can try to answer the question.
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
Multiple choice. So what technique will we follow to answer multiple choice question? Can you please give some idea which technique and strategy we have to follow to answer multiple choice question? Multiple choice question in both listening and reading are a bit complicated. Why? When you try to listen, try to answer listening in terms of listening, multiple choice question, you cannot answer all question because the bit complicated. In reading part, same things, a bit complicated multiple choice. But we need to discuss some strategies, some technique. And the technique is that don't read the option fast. Read the question. In some question, they indicate some paragraph number 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. Or if there is no mention of paragraph number 1, 2, 3, they will mention some main clue of question, main theme of the question. Once you identify the main theme of the question, you can go through the passage and find the answer. Where in the passage, which paragraph they are talking, they are answering the question. Now let's have the question number 27. The question number 27. In the second paragraph, they clarify which paragraph you are getting answer. Second paragraph, writer referred to a shape matching test in order to illustrate. 2 things you have to find. Second paragraph, in the second paragraph, you have to find what did the writer talk about the shape matching. The main thing is the shape matching. You can underline the shape matching. Now, paragraph number 2, this is a paragraph number 2. You have to find out where the writer talk about the shape matching. Could you please read the paragraph number 2, second paragraph, to find the shape matching? Mubashir, please. Is there any is there Mubashir here? No Mubashir. I recommend to read Mr. Nazmul Islam. Nazmul, could you read the paragraph number 2, second paragraph where they shape matching you find?
Yes, sir.
Please.
The middle of the paragraph, when asked to the make the simple uh, percentual decision such as a matching a shape to its rotated image. For the example, people often choose a definitively wrong answer if they see other doing the same. It is easy to imagine that this the mentality would have even more impact on the fuzzy concept like the appreciation where there is no right or wrong answer.
Okay, you understand now. You have to go through read the option one by one. Which option, if you understand this information, A, B, C, D, you have to choose correct answer. And option A is the subjective nature of art participations. Option B, reliance of modern art of abstract from. Option C, our tendency to be influenced by the opinion of others. Option D, a common problem and encountered when processing virtual data. So which one you are thinking correct one? A, B, C, D. Najmul
Sir,
Islam.
number D. Number D, sir.
Number D. Number D is common problems encountered when processing virtual data. Is there any data they are talking about? The data? Is there any data you have read?
No, no, sir. They are not talking about that.
I don't think so. That we
imagine.
certainly, if I read again the line, we certainly do have an inclinations of follow the crowd when asked to make shape simple perpetual decision suggest a matching shape. It is rounded image. For example, people often choose a definitely wrong answer if they see other doing same thing. It is easy to imagine that mentality would have an even more impact of fuzzy concept like art appreciation, where there is no right and wrong answer. Now the option is the number C. Our tendency to be.
Yes, sir.
It is clear answer if you read the clear information. Look, number C is a clear.
Yes,
Our tendency to influence by opinion of others. They have clarified by saying that our tendency, look at here, clarification is that, and last line, if you follow the last line, when asked to make simple perceptual decisions such as matching shape, it is a rotated image. For example, this is the answer you can follow. For example, people often choose a definitely wrong answer if they see other doing same. This is the clear answer.
right, sir.
You give the wrong answer if you follow your friend doing wrong answer. So we have a tendency to follow other. This is not a clear that we are, and it is easy to imagine that the mentally would have even in fact of fuzzy concept. This is a fuzzy concept of life, art, appreciation, where there's no right and wrong. We don't have to think about right and wrong. We have to follow other person. So C is clear. You can understand, see how it is, how I understand that. See, our tendency to be influenced by the opinions of others. This is our tendency. Question number 28. In the question number 28, just focus the main things. What is the main thing? Angelina Howley Dolan's finding indicate that. Now, using your pencil, underline the Angelina Dolan's his finding, which where you have the rest of the thing, where you have Angelina. Third paragraph. Yes. Could you please read the Angelina's finding for the next paragraph? Angelina
Howley Dolan of the Boston College, the Massachusetts responded to this debate by the asking volunteers to view pairs of the paintings.
Either the creation
of famous abstract artist or the dawdless of infants, chimps and elephants.
Okay, they had the
jungle which they preferred.
Had to judge with they prepared. A third of the painting were given no captions. Well, many were labeled incorrectly. Voluntary marketing, they were viewing a chance matchy brushstroke when they were actually seeing a acclaimed masterpiece. So this is enough. You can have answer. When you read the up again, you can understand which is matching A, B, C, D. A number, most favorite works of art which they know well. Number B, had fixed idea about what make a good work of art. Number C, often measured by their initial expectation of work of art. Number D, had the ability to perceive the intention behind the workers of art. What is the moral thing? Whatever you read, A, B, C, D. You can ask now. You can think now, which is correct answer. A, I think is not matching. B is not matching. C is not matching. I think B is correct. Have a ability to perceive. If you understand the line carefully, have the ability to perceive the intention behind works of art. You can read again, then you can make you clear that the Angelina responded this debated by asking voluntary to view pairs of painting. This is image they're painting works of art, either the creation of famous abstract of artists or the doodles of infant chimps and elephants. They had to judge which they are prepared. A third of the painting were given no caption, while many were labeled incorrectly. This is answer. You can, if you understand the line, you can understand this is the answer. Matching number option C. This is clearly matching C. If you read the D number, the ability is they have ability to perceive, perceive the intention behind the artist of art. Same thing. Read the question, underline the question main thing. Question number 29, result of study involving Robert Farfel's pieces suggest that people, the main thing, results of study involving Robert Farfel pieces suggest. We have to find Robert Farfel where they are talking about Robert. Person Robert, rest of the lines. The next paragraph, you can have the lines. Robert Farfel, an artist based at Cardiff University, create ambition work that are neither entirely abstract nor clearly representation in one study. Farfel and his Collaborator asks volunteer to decide how powerful they consider an art to be and whether they saw anything familiar in the pieces. The longer they took to answer those questions, more highly they rated the piece under scrutiny and the greater their neural activity. It would seem that the brain see the image of fragile and the harder to be decipher the meaning more rewarding the moments of recognition. Now you can have read the option again, A, B, C, D, which is matching. Can appreciate a painting without fully understanding it is not matching. Number B, find it satisfying to work out what is a painting represent. I think it is fine. It is satisfying. Find it is satisfying to work out what a painting represent. I think it is matching. If you read carefully, you can understand number B is matching. If you read and if you understand paces, the spaces, you can understand the matching. Now, next one is the third. Next question is 30. What do the experiment describe in fifth paragraph suggest about painting of Mendelians? Now, fifth paragraph. What is fifth paragraph? This is the fifth paragraph. This is fifth paragraph. You have to find the Mendelian paintings. Read carefully. What about the artist suggests they are talking about Mendelians? Those paintings consist exhibitly horizontal and vertical line encasing block of color. Mendelian work are deceptively simple, but eye tracking study confirmed that they were meticulously composed and that simply writing a piece radically changed the way we view it. With the original voluntary, I tended to stay longer on certain place in the image, but with the altered version, they would lift across piece more rapidly. As a result, voluntary consists the altered version less pleasurable when they read to the works. So what do you understand by the painting of Mondrian? You can choose the answer, which is correct answer. You can choose now. A, B, C, D, which is going to choice. Number A, they are more careful about put together than they appear. Number B, I think number is A is matching. We can read number B. They can be interpreted with a number of different ways. It's not matching. C, they challenge our assumption about shape. This is not matching. Number D, they are easier to appreciate than many other abstract works. So if you understand, I think A is matching. They are more careful put together. They are more careful. The artists are more careful put together than they appears. So this is about the list, multiple choice question. You have to follow the technique in terms of in your final exam or at your home when you practice yourself. Try yourself how many questions you are going to correct. This is very challenging for you. Now we have to move the next one question. Next is we know this is about the fill in the blanks. And you can try yourself by our technique and strategy we follow. Or in terms of fill in the blanks, what you have to do, we should read the heading first, the art and the brain, this heading. Then you read the question. The discipline of neurostatistics aim to bring scientific. Now, what thing? This is about the with clue. In terms of answering with clue questions, directly you cannot match with the passage, but the word they use, this is the synonym word they use. So you have to know the synonym word. Same techniques. Keep to discipline of neurostatistics aim to bring scientific objectivity to study of art, neurological study of the brain, for example, demonstrate the in fact which in presence painting have to have on our ABCD, which one on our interruption, movement, concept, completely, skill, image, emotion, or layout, which is
Emotions.
emotion. So here is one easy things. Without reading the passage, if you understand the meanings, then you don't need to read the passage. If you understand the meaning of the question, you don't need to read the question. So emotion is the answer, correct answer, emotions. So emotion. Now we are not going to read the passage because here the words they given. This is called with clue. Next one. Alex Foyes of University of Liverpool believe many art give their work pieces disagree of which most apple to views of brain. So now again we can see A, B, C, D, which one is matching. And A number is interruption is not cannot be matched. Number B, complexity. I think it is matching, but we have to confirm by reading the passage. Complexity. Disagree of complexity. I think it's matching completely. Which most appeal of the view brain. He also observed that pleasuring work of art often contain certain repeat. Which word we have to find repeat, which occur frequently in the natural world. So which is matching repeat? I think image, repeated image. So now you confirm in the passage how I can, but in the passage you did not, you won't find the same word. Now, question number 30 is the emotion. Where you have to go? We have to go to the arts and brain, discipline, scientific objective study, neuroscientist study, and brain example demonstrate them in fact which impressionist painting. Now we have to go to the passage. Here the passage in this paragraph, where you have in this last paragraph, similar study of Toronto University asks the question is about neurologists. Okay, study university volunteers to compare original painting with those at altered by the moving object. We are finding some clue object around the farm. He found that almost everyone referred to the original. Where it was Ben Good still alive or was struck by Miru, also found changing compositions of paintings, reduce exhibition those brain area linked to the meaning of interruptions. Next paragraph. Another experiment, Alex Foyes, Alex Fighty of University Liverpool analyzes virtual in fact of different species art. Results suggest that the many artists use to K levels of perceptions overlooks according to the Foyes, but more appreciating phrase both abstract condition example shape paintings. Now the last ones. Here is the brain. They're talking about the brain. It is also integrating that the brain appear to process movement where see handwritings later if we are reflecting writer movements of creations. This is the sum to older folk was and dynamic because the brain reconstruct the imagic action. This is about the energetic actions, and there the is replayed. It may down to the brain mirror neuro. Here is answer, but it's not same answer, not same thing. Which are known to mirror others' action. That means emotion. Hypothesis will need to be thoroughly tested. However, it might even the case we could use neurostatistics study to understand the longevity. Some pieces of art, well, fashion of the time might shape what currently popular works are the best departed to our virtual system may be the most likely to longer one tended precisely generation to have. Last one is that it is still early day for the field of neurostatistics, and those study are probably only a test what is come to. It would, however, of the foolish to reduce the appreciation to art scientists. We should underestimate important style appreciable arts. So here two paragraph are the answer, but between the question there's no directly matching because the clue and word have been given. Emotion is not directly matching emotion, they mention reaction of the action. This is called emotion. So here, without reading the passage, if you understand, if you know the meaning, you can answer all sorts of questions. This is about the with clue. Have to remember. But in passage also you can have, but there is no similar word they use. That's why we recommend to justify yourself. Once you understand the meanings, then you can do better. Most important thing for the reading is that to understand the meaning is very important thing and follow the techniques at your home. Now, if you have a question, you can ask me, please. The question we solved today's classes, multiple choice, list true, false, not given, or other type of question we solve. If you did not understand, you can ask me the question, please.
Sir, I can't understand MCQ precisely.
MCQ. So for MCQ, what technique we follow? We just follow the instruction. In some question, they mention the paragraph 1, paragraph 2. Moreover, the question, the main thing, if you understand well the main theme of the question, I like to show you again. In the MCQ, the first thing is that in second paragraph, then the writer refer a shape matching test in order to. So main thing is the shape matching. Now we went to paragraph number 7. In the paragraph number 7, there is the shape matchings. Read the line. If you read the line shape matching, we currently do have an inclination to follow the crowd when asked to make simple perceptual decisions such as this is the things, this is the main things. Shape matching a shape to its rotated image. For example, people often choose definitely wrong answer if they see other doing same. This is answer. Now in the option, what the writer referred to the shape matching test. Why they are matching test? In order to illustrate what they illustrate, in order to illustrate A, B, C, D. D number, C number, in order to illustrate our tendency to influence by the opinions of others. That means shape matching test is made. The aim of the shape matching test is mean that we have tendency to follow other person. So if you understand this line, this last two line, you can understand the number C is correct. Did you understand? Mr. Alamgir, have you understood? Mr. Alamgir, have you understood, please? Mr. Abdul Rahman, have you understood, please?
Yes, sir, I have understood.
So main thing to understand the question is main thing, and find out the question location in the passage is the another thing. And then you understand between question and answer. If you understand meaning well, then you can do better. That's why I recommend you every day, every single day, try to read an English article, English passage. If you collected Cambridge books, Cambridge 10 to 16 volume books, there are lots of passages like this. In next classes, we will discuss this kinds of question. This kinds of question we will discuss. And you have to read the passage. This is passage as the history of silk. You have to read the passage and find out the word you don't know. You have to read this passage. Second passage is Great Migration. Read the passage, find out the uncommon word. And third passage, read the passage. The passage is about the refers to how the other half thinks advantage. Read the three passages very well. Understand your uncommon word. In next classes, we will help you how to find out answers. But if you don't read the three passages, you cannot understand how I am getting the answer. That's why I recommend you collect the book Cambridge IELTS book, Cambridge 10 to 16 volume. This is about we are solving 11 Cambridge 11. In Cambridge 11, if you read the task, this is about task 3 passage 1. This is passage 1. Read very carefully passage 1 and passage 2. This is passage 2. Read the passage. Passage 3. Read the passage, and we will solve all sorts of questions in the next classes. Before that, I like to recommend you to solve yourself this question. True, false, not given. This question you solve at your home, because we know we already have solved from the passage. True, false, not given. And you have to report me how many questions you could correct. This is your homework. Try yourself to solve true, false, not given question to question number 34, 35, 36, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 40 question. From this passage, we already solved this passage. This passage we already solved. Then we will discuss, we will justify how many questions you are able to correct of your own. Secondly, don't miss to read the passage and don't miss to understand the uncommon word. Again, I like to say, if you are not familiar with uncommon word, if you don't know uncommon word, you cannot do better in reading IELTS reading, because IELTS reading depend on your vocabulary skill, your reading skill, and your strategy. What kinds of question, which strategy you need to follow? This is main things. The main thing is that to understand the meaning of the passage, understand meaning of the questions. That's why I recommend you every day read a single passage, 1, 2, and 3 pages of Cambridge books. And if you have a habit of reading English newspaper like the Guardian, very helpful for you to get good score in reading part. I think you understand. Or if you have more question, you can ask me. I will try to help you for this reading. Abdul Rahman, Archana, Samia Khan, I think you understand well, or will we finish our classes? So we are going to finish our classes here. Thank you very much. And I recommend you again to practice yourself at your home by reading passages. Thank you very much.